Welcome back to EDUSPLORER. I want to thank you for watching. It is interesting that the geopolitical landscape has shifted within the past 2 months. It's interesting. The country of Ukraine has come to the realization that the United States is not a strategic partner like they thought. Why am I making this video? Here we talk geopolitics on how the continent of Africa engage its strategic partners from around the world. It is important that Ukraine is about to learn the hard way. The way that the continent of Africa have been learning that its strategic partners from around the world are looking for one particular thing. There is no free money. Africa, I want you to wake up to understand how we engage, we strategize, how we work alongside, how we partner, that the Western partners have nothing for free.
But you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's backed you far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
Ukraine will pay in one way or the other. If you look at Ukraine is in a tight spot at the moment, strategically and geopolitical engagement. From the economic perspective and looking at how Ukraine is figuring out what it needs to do at this critical time in the Ukrainian history. Donald Trump has made it clear Ukraine has no other option at the moment. Ukraine will pay with its natural resources. Does that sound familiar to Africa? All of these billions of US dollars that were being flooded to the country of Ukraine, we all saw that in the news. United States giving Ukraine hundreds of millions of dollars. Nobody talked on why this money was going through and how would this money be paid back.
Going to go to our latest news now from the White House, where President Trump has met with Ukraine's President Zelensky. Let's listen in.
With both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world. And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people are been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him. Me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it.
But the changes in the landscape in the geopolitical environment should wake up the continent of Africa. That you African countries have no friends. You have actual partners to deal with. It's clear that Ukraine understands what African countries have been talking about. Ukraine would have to pay back the United States of America with its natural resources. This is fundamentally unheard of at this particular stage. Ukraine, the darling of the European Union in terms of the strategic engagement. I was wondering how Joe Biden at the time was throwing all of these billions of euros and dollars to the country of Ukraine. One thing was running through my head, like, how will Ukraine pay this money? Where will this construction money come from? Is this billions of dollars for free? I think to an extent, Joe Biden was just basically focusing on helping the country of Ukraine to resist Russia, a mighty superpower of its own.
What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
I'm not
cards.
playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the lives of
war.
millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's back to you, far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
plans for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to travel to the United States to meet with Donald Trump. The U.S. president has been demanding Ukraine give access to its rare earth minerals in what Trump calls payback for wartime aid provided by the U.S. under Joe Biden.
$1 billion. For that, I hear that he's coming on Friday. Certainly, it's okay with me if he'd like to, and he would like to sign it together with me, and I understand that's a big deal, very big deal. And I think the American people, even if you look at polling, they're very happy because, you know, Biden was throwing money around like it's cotton candy, and it's a very big deal. It could be $1 trillion deal, it could be whatever.
But I was asking myself, all of this money that was being poured into the country of Ukraine, how will it be recovered? How will the United States benefit from this particular support that is given to Ukraine? Sometimes it's unbelievable how geopolitical partners can throw something out there using words like support, our partner, we have to stand with you, we have to support you. But we're not talking about the financial implications of this particular relationship. That's why Ukraine is learning from the difficult angles. Africa, never you ever open your hands or looking for handouts from your strategic partner. Question every deal, every relationship that you find yourself. The world has shifted. It is changed. Ukraine is learning that the United States of America is not as strategic a partner as they thought. Let's roll the clip.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak-
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I
Again,
tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers. Listen,
Please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
But this
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
Why am I worried about the continent of Africa? Africa is talking about that the current president of the United States, Donald Trump, have cut off aid. That's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. This is the fundamental period where Africa must engage, re-strategize like I've pointed out in previous videos, figure out what partnership works and which does not. And the USC's decision, executive orders from the current president, Mr. Donald Trump, it's God sent. Simple. Let's put it that way from the strategic point of view. It is about time we go back to the drawing board and re-engage our partners from an angle of sovereignty. of an angle of strength. Ukraine at this moment would have never thought that the United States of America will come swinging that it's about time you sign those documents. Africa, your situation is not so bad. Ukraine is currently understanding that there's been a shift in the United States of America. The landscape has changed.
Question to the Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do we do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is,
the next 4 years is going to be brutal. Like I said, geopolitics is a brutal game, and Africa must wake up. What should be going into the head of the Ukrainian government and the Ukrainian officials and nationals? It baffles me at this time because the United States, as a very strategic partner during Joe Biden's term, all of this money that was being flooded to this country from the European Union, we saw how the French president actually corrected the current America's president on terms of the engagement and discussions concerning the NATO contribution or support to the country of Ukraine. My question I'm asking here is, will the European Union, will the EU go ahead and ask Ukraine to pay also with the natural resources? That's a big question. How will this partnership move forward? This is a big lesson for global nations, Africa in particular, that the United States will not give you anything for free. Hopefully the Ukrainian people can navigate this particular difficult time in their history. At this moment, it is unbelievable that your geopolitical partners can hamstring you. Like I pointed out, Donald Trump is using incredible leverage. And that's the reason why Ukraine have no option than to dance to the American tune. I will be looking forward to meeting you soon in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye-bye.